your announcement. But however, for a long inaugural session, the talks will be there in between. However, I, on behalf of the Central Committee of my party, Revolutionary Socialist Party, I greet everybody, all the delegates, all the respected delegates, my friends, my colleagues, in the form of the left leaders like Comrade Daniel Braja, Comrade Dipankar Bhattacharya, Comrade G. Devarajan, and say a few words, because much has been talked about. I'll just pay at the outset, I shall pay my homage, my sincere homage to the memory of Comrade Sudhakar Reddy, Comrade Atul Anjan, and other leaders who have lost their lives, including Comrade Sitaram Yechuri, of course, who have lost their lives in between. And I shall also greet all of you on the occasion of the centenary of the foundation of Communist Party of India. I don't like to get into the controversy of the Tashkent and Kanpur, but I shall read everybody. And at the same time, I shall spell a few words that even after 100 or 105 years of our establishment as a Communist Party of India, even I include my party also, the Revolutionary Socialist Party. What is the other name of the communist? Revolutionary Socialism and Communism are the same. Comrade Lenin was a revolutionary socialist. Karl Marx has written pages on revolutionary socialism. However, my party has also been adult, 85 years of old age. But even now, after all these years of sacrifices of the most talented people of this country who have joined the communist or left movements, we could not establish our identity in the national politics. That has to be looked into. Is it because of our isolation from the common people? Is it because of our attitude? It is because of the fragmentation of ours? Or it is because of sectarianism, what is instrumental or what pervades us? That has to be examined. That why we have not been able to establish our identity even after 100 years of our existence. We have been consistently fighting for the right cause of the people, but we have not been able to. That has to be examined. One. Two, we are in such a situation in today's India that we are not being able to overcome the attacks of the RSS, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. We are not being able to overcome the attacks by the government of India as on today. Just imagine a situation, Comrade Dipankar Bhattacharya has dealt in details. I don't like to deal once again and take your time. But this is new India now, new norms. When the Home Minister of this country, Mr. Amit Shah, I despise to take his name, but he declares a war against our own people. He declares by 1926 the war against Maoism on the pretext of Maoism. He will annihilate the village people, rural people. And the lands, as on today, Himanshu Kumar, the one Gandhite worker who is working in Chhattisgarh, he reported me in Calcutta that number of villages in Chhattisgarh are lying vacant now. Nobody is there because they are being haunted by the Cobra forces. They are being haunted by the CRPF. They are being indiscriminately killed and killed by shots from the back. And the villages are being vacant. The lands are ready to be handed over to Adanis and Ambanis for the mineral business. I am told the same thing they are planning in Maharashtra, in the eastern part of Maharashtra. In Jharkhand, in many places in Jharkhand, in many parts of Jharkhand, they are doing away with the PESA. They are doing away with the sixth schedule, and they have declared a war against their own citizens. So we do have a right, or we do have a responsibility of saving our fraternity, who are in the name of being Maoists, on the pretext of being Maoists, they are being killed indiscriminately. We shall have to bear it in our mind. Now I read out because the time is not in my favor. As all of us assembled over here in the 25th Party Congress of yours to deliberate on the issues of effective ways and measures of our ongoing struggle to emancipate the poor and the downtrodden, we cannot develop any plausible program of our movement without simultaneously assessing the international situation as on today. The international situation is very, very bleak. The rise of extreme right or far right capitalism, far right rulers to salvage the capitalist crisis are attacking the peoples of the world. The entire world has virtually undergone an unprecedented changes in the last few decades. There have been considerable changes in the attitude of many countries, particularly the advanced developed countries, or the so-called developed countries. The crisis of capitalism has deepened enormously. The imperialist hegemonies of the northern hemisphere of the world, even after the introduction of the indiscriminate implementation of the dispensations of neoliberalism, that could not sustain the inherent crisis. They were affront to the systematic downfall. The phenomenon could not salvage the situation. The neoliberal order has died down, in fact. Not only criticized from in between, and in absence of neoliberalism, when that has also failed, they had no formula. Now they are resorting to fascistic attacks on the peoples of this country, of this world. The US imperialist administration had to resort to the unwarranted wars and annihilation of humanity in several countries, especially those belonging to the continents of Asia, Africa and Latin America. It is ascertained by many historians that infamous US imperialism, in conjunction with the UK, France, Canada, etc., are perpetually demolishing the bare minimum values of human civilization. They have no doubt miserably lost in all the infamous war efforts, but could not restrain themselves, as the administration in a particular is governed by the uncouth military-industrial complex. In all eventualities, it is not only in a case of war. As such, the American administration, the US administration, is based on the demands or lobbying of the, they call it lobbying of the military-industrial complex. We have been observing with great concern, and the horrifying advance of imperialist forces has brutally attacked the democratic values and constitutions of many countries. While neoliberalism was being introduced, the same thing we observed, that the democracies in different countries, the constitutional provisions have been demolished mercilessly. Even in India, we have been observing with great concern that the horrific advance of the imperialist forces has brutally attacked the democratic values of the constitution and the constitutions of many countries. Those could not emancipate themselves. Those countries which could emancipate themselves from the yoke of imperialist occupation, imperialist attacks and colonialism. The changes and development of technology, this is a new phenomenon that appears to my mind, or to our mind rather. It's a collective wisdom of our party that we have been observing, that the changes in the development of technology in the West have paved the ways for consolidation of fascistic rules. At one point of time, as we may recall, the nuclear technology played a definite role in ascertaining the dominations of few states. Domination of US imperialism at Hiroshima and Nagasaki made US imperialism as an invincible force. But incidentally, it has changed. Many other countries have also owned nuclear technology. Nuclear technology was a determinant of the strength of any country for a very long time. And then it was the era of dominance of computer or software technology. Even now, it is computer or software technology who possesses more, whether in social media or otherwise, or in the IT cells, as espoused by the RSS. Tremendous. In the name of cultural nationalism, it is something tremendous. The people are making absolutely baseless demands, baseless observations. And they are telling that that is the truth. And that is being propagated in the social media through IT cells. Then it became biotechnological advances. The biotechnological or biological warfare. Biotechnology was developed in the military-industrial complex. Even the foods have been changed. People say that soybean is not an agricultural food. Soybean is an industrial product. And that is dumped on the nations as a very nutritious food, what may not be of fact. Now, the technology has changed and owned by only a few people, those who are very, very rich. It's artificial intelligence or GPT chat, etc. I could note that in England, some before 15 years ago, one Tommy Robinson, he gathered ultra-right fascistic elements who were against immigration, who were against the people of color, who were against the common people, the interests of the common people, and that was addressed by none else than Elon Musk. He was the only person who addressed it, of course, by using the technology. And I find a simile when Nirmala Sitharaman, the infamous finance minister of India, she claims that this is a fact because Elon Musk has told it. So Elon Musk, who is Elon Musk? He has a complete control over the new technology what has been evolved. So we have to be very, very careful that technology is causing a huge damage to the advance of humanity. And I'm sure that while delivering your own points, you might be raising this point, and we want your wisdom also to be added. We may dare saying that the centuries-old capitalism is worn out. This has been put in a ventilator for its survival. And this is pertinent to point out that we are not in a position to take the advantage of such crisis of the system. The collapse of the viable and effective international communist consolidation is being very badly felt. The billions of people are languishing in utter deprivation, and they are being thoroughly misled, and many of them are being utilized to promote further consolidation of wealth by a few. This section of the poor are being systematically divided, disarrayed in the names of religion, regions, color, language, etc. The poverty-stricken people are being engaged to fight each other for wrong reasons. The rights are being taken away. Instead, a paltry amount of doles are being distributed to minimize the wrath of the people in the form of populist governance. This has to be borne in the mind. And let us remember, we have talked about Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh was an activist of Hindustan Socialist Republican Army. He came all the way to Kanpur. And in company of Botukeshwar Datta, in company of Jatin Das, the great martyr Jatin Das, along with Rajguru and Sukhdev, they have fought against British imperialism. I just remember Bhagat Singh became an atheist at the age of 23. He changed his attitude towards life. And he is a person, before being hanged, when he was asked that what is your last desire, last wish, I get shivered. That a person, that a revolutionary in his 20s, he could dare saying that some pages are left, the pages of State and Revolution by Vladimir Ilyich Lenin are left. I want to finish those pages. That was his last wish. He did not ask for some relatives of his to be met. He did not ask for any good food. He did not ask for anything else but State and Revolution. The State and Revolution, well, Lenin has categorically mentioned that imperialism is the highest stage of capitalism. And fascism comes out of the dilapidated capitalism. Mussolini developed this phenomenon. Hitler followed. And from Mussolini, this RSS, the Hindu Mahasabha people, I would name Dr. B.S. Munje. He took the lessons from Mussolini in 1931 and wanted to develop military fascism in India. This Bhosla Military Training Institute was established by Munje immediately after his return. So we shall have to be very, very careful and clear about our ideas in the developments of fascism in India. The country, the overall socio-economic situation is quite dismal. We may say that dreaded reality is being experienced. The livelihood of the employment is elusive. We have experienced such a phenomenal rise in unemployment since more than half a century. More than 16%, official record, the government records say, that more than 16% of our population is unemployed, whereas nearly 2/3 of the country are young people. The contingents of the young people have made both male and female. They are being used as a pawns, these unemployed youth. They are being used as pawns by these fascistic forces, by RSS and hydra-headed RSS. There are so many organizations. Even nowadays the ISKCON has come over. We shall have to be very, very careful of the ISKCON, International this Krishna consciousness or something like that. The Ananda Margi in West Bengal and many other states. Bajrangal, Durga Bahini, etc., everything, they are all pervasive. And unless we are very carefully, we examine the things in details. When I was coming to Delhi last night, in the train, some monks-like appearance, they came and they were trying to sell some religious books. And they're selling it, some 3-4 people came. They're active in the platforms of the railway stations. We overlook that. But we shall be overlooking that, but we shall have to be very, very careful about that. We shall be very, very careful and just imagine a situation when we were shouting about Gaza invasion by private army. It's a private army what is rampaging entire Gaza, deemed to be a hub for international rascals headed by Donald Trump. This is being done with a private army. It's not only Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu, but private army. And this has been initiated in 2003. During Iraq war, you will kindly recall, there was Halliburton company owned by Dick Cheney, then Vice President of America. He took the initiative of introducing this private army in the warfare. So warfare has also been privatized for the private good. The money of the states are being used for promoting the private good. The noble social values, by the way, are disappearing. वो कहीं नहीं है. अब बोलने से लोग हंसता है, अधिकतर लोग हंसता है. ये क्या आप 100 साल के पुराने बात बोलते हो? लेकिन we shall have to be very, very careful about it. At every moment you shall have to be careful. And I'm sure that you, as a conscious detachment of the Marxist-Leninist organization, Marxist-Leninist output, you will be conscious enough to fight it on every moment, on the basis of every moment. It's not only every day. It's every moment is precious for us. Every moment has to be reckoned, has to be taken into account. And in every moment we shall have to fight against this sort of tyrannical activities by the capitalism in the guise of imperialism or fascism. And I'll say about this is a fact or this is an imperative. We shall have to broaden the base of left unity. We shall have to broaden the the front of left unity. At the same time, we shall have to determine our program. What is the program of the lefts? Lefts are not to look only to the rightist parties, in the name of democratic parties, in the name of Baba Saheb Ambedkar alone. But left parties should take up some programs, advance the programs, and in the phrase some of the democratic forces will join and we shall have a bigger front. That may be used for elections. Elections, let us not be swept away by the requirements of the election, but let us be swept away consciously for the cause of the downtrodden people, for the cause of the toiling millions, for the cause of the workers, peasants. I am sure that your 25th Party Congress will deliberate on this, and 25th Party Congress will show some ways and means so that you can advance the desire of ours, the promises of ours. With these few words, I shall thank you immensely for giving me a scope to deliberate in your August conference of 25th Party Congress. Wishing you all a grand success and wishing you all revolutionary greetings. Thank you so much. Inqilab Zindabad, CPI Zindabad. Yes. Remain here.
Thank you very much, comrade, for your greeting message. I would request our leaders to come and give him memento.
Thank you.
Comrade, now the announcement is that we should also honor Professor Jagmohan Singh. So I request him to come in front and the leader should give him one memento. Professor Jagmohan Singh.
Professor Jagmohan Singh, nephew of Shaheed-e-Azam Sardar Bhagat Singh.
Yes. And with us is today Professor Chamanlal also, who has been writing on Bhagat Singh, doing research on Bhagat Singh. So one book is brought out by him. He will present that book to Comrade D. Raja. Professor Chamanlal.
Just in 1 minute, this book is published by Monthly Review Press, New York, and it's greetings from Michael D. Yates, Monthly Review Director for 25th Congress of the CPI.
You come with me.
Comrades, there is going to be a special session. Please don't move, wait. Presidium didn't say that the session is on break, please. There will be special session today. After we break now, we will be meeting at 3 o'clock. We'll start our proceedings, but at 4:45, special session in solidarity with Palestine, in solidarity with Cuba. So Ambassador of Palestine and Ambassador of Cuba in India, both of them are arriving. So comrades, delegates, alternate delegates and others, and even it will be open session for 1 hour. All our friends, all our volunteers, everybody will be here. You should be here in full strength. Others also in that particular session, this I am saying. So now we will be, while thanking everybody, all the leaders of our left parties for this inaugural session who came, once again I thank them. And now on behalf of Presidium, we break and meet at 3 o'clock. Resolution committee members should come to this side where I am raising my hand. Resolution committee should come to this side for the meeting, and Presidium should remain here. Members of Presidium, for small consultation for 5 minutes, you remain here.